DMCI Project Developers Inc.'s DMCI Homes is planning to launch projects this year as it expands its portfolio. This is fewer than the previous target of 4 launches as DMCI Homes continues to manage its inventory. Its publicly listed parent firm, DMCI Holdings Inc., appears poised to maintain its sideways trading pattern, says Ron Acoba of Trading Edge, consistent with its performance over the past year. In the near term, though, there is a slight upward bias as the stock hovers near its support zone of between 10 pesos 22 to 10.26 per share. Acoba says buying interest at this level could potentially push the stock back toward the midpoint of its existing range. With us now for more is Alfredo Austria, president of DMCI Homes, the property arm of Kunsunhi-led DMCI Holdings Inc. Good to have you here. Freddie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kathy.
All right, so tell us about the project launches, because that kind of slowed in my observation. What's the status now, and what are you going to do in the second half of the year?
Well, since the start of the year, we haven't launched any project yet. But in the second half, we probably will launch a small project in Baguio and another project maybe in Quezon City. But that depends on the market situation.
Market situation, I mean, what are you looking at? What metrics and what changes? What conditions in the market are you looking for?
Well, of course, we're looking for better sales. It could be better. I mean, I think it's been all over the news that there seems to be an oversupply in Metro Manila, at least.
Do you agree?
I agree that there's an oversupply, but the oversupply is only in certain sectors and certain locations. It's not everywhere. Yeah. I think there's still a big need for housing, condo units. Every year there are a lot of new households being formed. People are still getting married. People still have children. There are new families being formed, upper middle income families being formed every year. So it's a real need. And well, demographic data will tell you that there will always be a demand for it.
But in particular, what kind of niche are we then looking for? What kind of a market? Because when you look at the macro, it appears supportive. At least consumer confidence with the peso strength and maybe low inflation and policy rate outlook, rates are coming off, as Mark was just discussing earlier.
Yeah, I think focusing on the end user has been very helpful for us because, well, again, it's a real need having a home. No? And I think for the case of DMCI Homes, since the time we started DMCI Homes, we've been focused on the need market, the end user market, because when we started way back in 1999, that was right after the Asian crisis, and you really have to focus on the need market. No? And we know, well, we've been in the Philippines for so long, the ups and downs, crisis every now and then. So we know that sooner or later there'll be some sort of a crisis or maybe oversupply in certain sectors. So I think we're prepared for it.
In terms of the need that you're finding in Baguio, pretty interesting that it's a condotel that you're launching at the end of this year. Do you find that it's the same kind of demographic that you're reaching there, or a little bit more different?
Sorry, I think the condotel I was saying is the one that we launched around 6 months ago in Baguio, or in Tuba, Benguet. But we're launching another one in Baguio in the second half of this year. It's a small project. There's an opportunity there. We're in joint venture with, it's a property owned by the Kunsunhi family. So it's a specific opportunity to develop that nice property.
It's premium, medium-rise development. This is it. Yes. And it focuses on that premium market.
Yes, it's premium, actually.
Okay, but you have a lot of other projects still up for
Yes.
launch. What are you looking for in terms of market conditions to be able to ascertain the timing of the launch?
Well, we're regularly monitoring our sales every day, our site activities, strippings. In fact, this year we're happy to see that we have so many more site trippings from customers this year, around 70% more than last year. So there seems to be a lot of people are still eager to buy, but I think affordability issues are out there, and also because of the reported oversupply in condo units, some of these end users are being more careful, being more cautious, looking at several different properties. And what's good is that there are a lot of RFO units now, and they can see for themselves the quality and the value that each developer is offering. And I think that's good for us because we've been focusing on improving quality and value for the customer. And as we've seen in our recently completed projects, the sales have gone up when they were completed because we're able to bring in the customers and they see for themselves the quality and the value that we're offering.
Which brings us to recurring income. What other sources are you now developing in order to ensure that you've got a steady stream of recurring income?
Well, we're really more focused into residential homes. And as far as recurring income, the traditional point of view is that recurring income comes from office rentals, commercial, retail, mall rentals, and that sort of thing, no? Or hotels. But we don't have that in our portfolio. We are really focused on residential developments because that's what we see, that's where our strength is. No? And there's an advantage to focusing on residential housing because, well, first of all, there's that inherent need. No? And we think that if you do a good job in residential developments, the income will always be there. I mean, we've been through many different ups and downs of the economy, and the income still is pretty good in DMCI Homes. Yeah.
Well, hoping that you'll see more sales and reservations come through in the second half. Thank you so much for joining us. Alfredo Austria of DMCI Homes joining us.